What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the TRCBY show. Today we're going over some archer skills and their builds and whatever the setup may be. So the first build I would like to, I guess, show you guys is this build. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of something, and then we'll do this. So the first build is this. Is what I would call it the first burst build, essentially. So I could get up to like around 170, 80, or even 200 depending on the crit and whatnot off of this particular build, and this is head on, as you can see. So that was just the initial burst, and let's hit it from behind and see the difference over here. So if we do this, then this, and then a little bit of that, so that's over 200 hitting it from the backside. And again, this is the practice dummy, so how it translates to the actual like S4s or S5 bosses, it's a little bit different. It all depends on the boss, the mechanic, if it's moving around a lot, if you have the opportunity to like pull that particular burst off or not. It is all dependent. So it is what it is in that sense. So let's go ahead and do it again on the front side, and then I'll show you guys what that is all about. So it's about like around that 200 place, like burst wise, and if you keep on doing it, and you should be able to sustain like around like 100 to 200 ish. But again, I need to test this out in the stages, in the boss dungeons. So what is this build? So this build, let's go over it real quick. Why am I choosing these particular sets of skills? So I'll just press K. We'll start from the top and the bottom. So beam arrow, I have it on green. So beam arrow increases the light damage taken by enemies hit with beam arrow by 6% for 5 seconds, and it stacks. So let's go ahead and hit it up with beam arrow. You see that over there, it's stacked up to 5 times. So that's 6. That's 30% right off the bat for 5 seconds. And it's a fairly short cooldown. And then if I hit it with that at the same time, that increases all incoming damage as well too. And then if I hit it with this, boom, that's like my big boy damage over there, and that is over here my Cyclone Wind Force arrow, and it does a good amount of damage. It's not too bad, but it all plays well together. So use my Wind Force. Let's just say I drop some of this down as well too, and I pop this in, and then I do this, and then I hit it up with that as well too. It's quick. Take it down, shoot it up, have them do more damage. That's great. And then just keep it up. That's essentially what you want to do as well too. So anyways, let's go over that a little bit more. So going back to K, we're using beam arrow to reduce the enemy's light damage by 30% for 5 seconds. 30% for 5 seconds. And then on top of that, once you hit this shock arrow over here, which is the idle shock arrow, it inflicts on the enemy. They take an additional 20% more damage. And your damages are all light based damage. So 30 plus 20, you have a full 50% more damage being done to a boss. And then of course you have your rain, like arrow rain over here, which does like, you know, really good damage, and it'll also utilize your wind force as well too, as it's coming down. So the other thing is of course your Gale Dash. Turn that into stamina. So that's number 1. So stamina does this. So it is a wonderful play for PvE, PvP, and if you lock in your wind force, it does additional damage as well too. So there you go, it turns it into light. And then if we go into our Cyclone Wind Force arrow, you guys seen what it does. It's an insta cast of here. Boom. There you go. It's a slow moving huge arrow, and it's really good as in like a barrier causing case almost for PvP. But for PvP, I like to keep it on 3 because I'll show you. So if I do this real quick, I guess I can't change it for some reason. Why can't I change it? Oh, because it was on cooldown. Alright. So once I stack up to 5, and what I mean is over here, so my gale force increase my attack speed by stack of 5s. So if I do that, and then I could use the full wind force, and it'll still keep the silence and all of the other benefits of it. So gale dash, and then you can use your wind force as well too. So that's one way of doing it. It's up to you. Whatever works best for you, using a Cyclone Wind Force 4 or 5, depending on your particular setup. It's fine. Whatever works. And then your Quiver Charge. Quiver Charge will lock in, pause your Wind Force arrows from being exhausted for a full 20 seconds. That's almost equivalent to a Slayer's Imprint in a sense. So, using this, like however, using measured multi-shot consumes 1 Wind Force arrow or Wind Force arrow enhancement. But right here, like, I have 3 Wind Force going on. I lock it in. Boom. It stays there at 5. So when I'm using my Gale dash like that, it won't deplete my my Wind Force. So I think that is ultra good. And also when you're dropping down some rain as well too, it won't utilize, well yeah, it will utilize it at all, but it's let's see, pop that up, there you go, lock that in, and then it'll just use the wind force as well as it's going and doing its thing. Alright, so going back to the skills, Quiver Charge we just did, locks it in for 20 seconds, which is great. And then Destructo Arrow. So Destruction Arrow, there's a few Destruction Arrows. I think they're all really good, but the one that I would use for bossing is increase the power of all of your skills by 30%. So for 5 seconds. I think that's why I started off with the Destructo. Actually, I started off with a lock. So start off with the Destructo. Do that, and then do this, and then boom. So you have yourself that big window. Well, not big window. It's a very small window because everything is 5 or 4 seconds. You kind of just have to time everything just right using your Destructo, and then 1, 2, and 3 essentially. That's how I set it up as, like 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. And then you should be good to go. And then Rapid Fire. That is like your filler, your main DPS over here. So if we just did Rapid Fire as is, by itself, you could see that it does a significant amount of damage, and it could sustain a significant amount of damage. And that is your big boy damage dealer over there over the course of the long run when all of your other skills are on cooldown, and you just need to fill it in so it just keeps it going. Essentially, it's huge damage. And so if you do that with the beam, you're doing 30% more, and then knock that in, you're going to do 50% more, and then just keep rotating it in. Your beam is just super amazing because boom, boom, it just keeps you it keeps you going. So making more damage and stuff like that on the target. So your tornado. So I have the skill points of just enough for this. It halves the duration of tornado, but it gives you and your party member 1 gale stack per second when staying on top of the tornado. Typically for PvP, I would use the mighty tornado just because it's like an oh no moment where I need a little bit more of that dodge just to get away. But this is mostly for group battle tanking, I would say. Like when you're running around, you may need a little bit more movement skills. You could use a little bit of the Splendid Leap 52 just to get away. Like, I need to get away quickly, and that would help as well too. But your destructo arrow will also give you that little benefit of leap back as well if you need to leap backwards. And you are immune during the animation. Immune meaning, right here, where it says, if you click on it, it is, let's see, grants immunity from all attacks and harmful effect. You are invincible when it is going off doing this animation. So that's one of the great benefits of having and using it during PvP. So boom, it's really quick. It's about like 1 second of essentially maybe like half a second of immunity. So that is something that you should consider. So this is just a bossing build that was given to me to try. This isn't the complete 100% duplicate copy of it. I think I probably would need a BT, a breakthrough secondary, just to open up my 5th skill, along with maybe an additional like 50 skill points to utilize the build that was, I think that's floating out there as well too for bossing. So they also added like Wind Trap 3 as well to remove the bind effect from Wind Trap, but recovers 20% of max HP of you and your party member, so you can stay alive. It's a nice little heal. 20% heal is not too bad, but I'm not going to use it because I can't use it because I don't have the space for it. But that is just the boss build. So there's another bossing build as well too that I was kind of messing around with. So let me just go over to here, and it's essentially the same type of deal, but what we have here is just the oh no, gotta get out. Then you also have your rapid fire, your destructo, which is the 30%, your charge, and then this is the 3 using the gale dash, because you're going to be moving around using that wind force just to if you're soloing a boss. And once you do have that, you could save a little bit of skill point by dropping it down to a 3 and hitting it up with a cyclone wind force there, then dropping some rain on it. Number 4, the beam arrow over here, it just that's what I've been using. Increase the beam arrow damage by 50%, and it also reduces barrier as well too. And that's one version of it as well. So my PvP build. So this is more for open world PvP. Why do I like this particular build? It's like, oh no, right there, one skill just leaped me back at least like 60 meters, which is super cool. And that's the splendid leap. It's like, I gotta go, I gotta get out, my health is low, peace out, or whatever it may be. Like, you're gone. Like, that is quick and gone, nice and easy. And of course we have our snipe. So let's go back into the skills. Start from the top. Multi-shot. What does multi-shot do? It is super long range. So right now we're at 18 meters, 19 meters, 21 meters, still hitting it. So 20, and you can't tell. I believe it goes all the way up to like 25 meters. Look at that. It is a long range attack, but it just needs to hit. And that is huge. That is a big distance. So you kind of have to hit off center to get something that's on center. So this is the range of that. That's huge. Like right around here. Oh, a little bit more. There you go. Look at that. I think that may be it for my range right here. But it's at the top of the stairs, in front of the vase, right in the middle of this little hallway right here, this section. You could hit that. So we know that this is like about 18 right here. So 18 is right here, and you are going all the way up into here, and that is a big advantage. And that is one of the things that I do like about the archer, is that it's got the range. So again, you want to make sure that you kind of aim off target, off center, because it does split off, and it's not always going to hit, even if you don't move it. Like there, we didn't move it, the mouse crosshair, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But that's the thing with it. The further away you are, the more damage it does. So multi-shot is great. And what else does multi-shot do? It cancels the active skill and temporary immobilize. This effect only applies to NPC. It decreases movement speed by 80%. 3 seconds. If you could cap somebody really quickly from a distance, like just hit them up. Okay, you're running towards them, and then you can just go in and just like slide, like, gale dash them to death because they can't do anything. Or since they are kind of standing still, 80% is like they are almost at a crawl. So what you could do is take your time, get your crosshair in, and snipe them. So sniping does a huge amount of damage. Let's take a look at that sniping skill. We've already covered the Quiver charge, destructo, rapid fires, tornado, and whatnot. So sniping allows you to use a charge 3 without charging, but stun is removed and the cooldown becomes 12 seconds. So sniping is your 400 to 900 power. So it will double your cooldown on it for the insta, and it also does this. It shoots 3 wind force arrows per stack. So shoots 3 wind force arrows per stack, which charge when certain skill hits the target. Depending on the number of targets, you could gain up to 6 wind force arrow, deals 50 power of nature damage, and decrease 10% energy of hit enemies. So it does the stun, which the third one does remove that. Golden Bowstring. Upon releasing skill at the perfect zone or charging skill completely, hit targets as a transcendent property and remove split damage. Transcendent meaning ignores target's immunity power per perfect zone level 600 to 900. What does that mean? It means that if someone goes into their like ice shield or whatever it may be, it's like, I don't care. I will shoot through you and you will still take damage, just like that. So that is why I like sniping for open world PvP. And then Wind Trap. Wind Trap 1. They have a shield, usually they do. So I kind of just lob it up, like, boom. It's like an aerial effect over here. What that does is it gives me a quickie. If they had some buffs, they no longer have any buffs. So it removes all beneficial effect from enemies hit by Wind Trap. And this is kind of more of my like open world exile farming PvP / PvE type of deal. And that is mostly like what I use all the time. Is just the it's a really good little bit. I get a little bit of damage boost, and then I also have a oh no moment just to get away, and that is quick. It's like I gotta go, and I'm out. It's like peace out, and then you kind of run away. So this could be used for defensive or offensive. So you could go in charging that, and then using your Gale Dash just because you have to dodge, and just hope that you don't get killed by rushing in there. But that is another way of using this Tornado 4. It's like you use Tornado 4, you go in, just do a little bit of Gale Dash, and maybe they're dead. And then you're out. But that is one way of doing it. And then just like, if they don't die, you could just like leave and like say, I'm gonna come back and try again, and just keep annoying them. But Archer PvP in open world, I think, is fun. I do have a lot of fun with the Archer in open world PvP zones. So Archer versus Archer is also fun as well too, because you guys know what skills they have just by fighting them for a few seconds. Like, okay, all right, he's doing this. Okay, so it's pretty fun. Then you kind of guess each other's timing and cooldown and whatnot. So I do like Archer versus Archer for open world PvP a little bit more. For arena, it's kind of a mess. But for open world, I think it's absolutely fun to play as an Archer. But that is it. So I hope that is something that's helpful, that you guys take into consideration. Maybe trying out the build, seeing how it does, and take it from there. play around with it. You don't need to do an exact copy of any particular build. Just whatever build works for you at the current state that you are in at the moment for your skills and points and whatnot in your level. So it's all about having a good time, playing what you can and doing what you can, and just having fun. So that is it for now. So I hope everybody's doing well, staying safe and healthy, and peace.